Once again, keeping you up to date on the severe weather that is moving through Hampton Roads. A severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Chesapeake and Virginia Beach until 4:15. The strongest part of the storm is now in Virginia Beach, starting to exit the city of Chesapeake. So take a look at the radar again. So the strongest parts of the storm right now are pushing through the southern half of the city of Virginia Beach, mainly south of the ocean front. So as we zoom in here, give you a closer look at the areas we're talking about, it extends mainly just south of Dam Neck down through Nimmo, Pungo over towards Sandbridge, Charity Neck Road, Muddy Creek Road, Princess Anne Road. Just now exiting the city of Chesapeake, so from areas west of Blackwater Road and once you head west of Head of River, you're really out of that warning, so we'll probably be chopping off that back half for the city of Chesapeake here in the next couple of minutes. But it's really the southern half of the city of Chesapeake that we're watching. This storm does have a history of producing some gusty winds with it, and the potential is there for some of those wind gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour. And we could see some penny-sized hail. We haven't had any reports of hail, but as we take a look at the hail potential right now, we are seeing possibly some hail up to 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Again, this is mainly for the southern half of the city of Virginia Beach until 4:15. We're also watching another cluster of thunderstorms, not as strong, moving through parts of Gates County and especially into Chowan County, crossing over the Chowan River over into parts of Bertie County. A lot of lightning with these storms. Storms now just starting to move into the city of Hertford as you work your way into Perquimans County as well. So we've got a couple of big thunderstorms out there. These are the two main storms that we're watching. Of course, we're concerned about that warning for the city of Virginia Beach that will extend here for about another 15 minutes or so until 4:15. The heaviest of the rain is across the southern half of the city. Some of those rainfall rates that we've been seeing have been fairly heavy. So we take a look at some of the precipitation accumulation, or how much rain we picked up in parts of Chesapeake. Already picked up about an inch of rain there. So a little bit of concern that with it being as dry as it's been, that some of that runoff might take a little longer to work its way out. So there could be a few issues with mainly some ponding of some water on some of the roadways there, especially in the southern half of the city of Virginia Beach. As far as any kind of storm reports, haven't gotten any reports on that. Main concern again is with the gusty winds with this storm in the southern half of the city of Chesapeake, mainly Nimmo down towards Creeds. The storm working east, again at around 50 miles per hour. So as we track that movement again, mainly taking it out into the Atlantic, but the heaviest part of that storm right there, working eastward, will cross over the northern half of Back Bay and then mainly over towards the wildlife refuge. So we don't have nearly as many people that are impacted by that storm right now. But seeing a little bit of that pink right there along Charity Neck Road, that's where we could start to maybe see a little bit of small hail. Haven't had any reports of that, but from around Gum Bridge over towards Charity Neck Road, just east of Princess Anne, as you're working your way down towards Creeds, we are seeing that pink in there, and that could be an indication that there might be a little bit of small hail with that storm as well. Take a look at some of the storm tracks, not seeing anything showing up as far as the radar detecting any hail, but again, just from experience, when you start to see some of that pink, there's certainly that potential for some small hail with that storm as well. So we widen the view once again, tracking a couple other thunderstorms up across the eastern shore, just getting ready to approach areas there around the southern tip of Northampton County. So we'll zoom in on that one real quick, let you know that there are some other storms out there. We had temperatures up into the upper 70s and low 80s, and that really set the stage for sort of our first round, if you will, of some springtime severe weather, and we're tracking that storm that is just coming on shore around Capeville and Townsend and Kiptopeak. So if you're on the southern tip there of Northampton County, that storm will be affecting you here in the next couple of minutes. Biggest concern with these storms have been the gusty winds, potential for wind gusts of 55, maybe 60 miles per hour. This is all with a cold front that is working its way eastward. The cold front is located right through there. So as the front continues to push east, this is really the last batch of some of that heavier rain that we could see with these storms. So it'll move off the coast of Virginia here within the next half hour or so. North Carolina will still have to watch you, as that potential is there for some of the stronger storms across northeastern North Carolina as you get into parts of Pasquotank and Perquimans County. But the area, again, that we're really watching is right around Back Bay now, getting out of some of the more populated areas just south of Sandbridge. So as you head south of there along Sandpiper Road, getting over closer to the wildlife refuge, that's where we're watching now for some of that heaviest of the rain. There has been the lightning associated with this storm. As a matter of fact, within the past half hour or so, picking up here, 11 strikes, so nothing too terribly crazy, but the strongest part of the storm now is getting ready to move here into parts of Back Bay, right through here. So around Pleasant Ridge Road over towards Muddy Creek Road, that's the location that we're most concerned about for some of the heaviest of the rain. And again, that is moving over into Back Bay, so that is certainly some good news. But if you're along the southern end there of Sandpiper Road, you'll get some of that heavy rain coming up here in the next couple of minutes. You're already getting some of the heavy rain, and that will continue. Warning has been canceled for portions of Chesapeake, so here for about another 14 minutes or so, 12 minutes, we've got the warning for Virginia Beach, and I imagine the strongest part of the storm will move off the coast here, even within the next 5 to 6 minutes. So we'll stay on with you for that. But otherwise, you know, if the rest of Virginia Beach, rest of Chesapeake, things are drying out. Watching these big storms down through parts of Chowan County and Perquimans County now, and even into Gates County, that's working eastward. So we're watching South Mills, Elizabeth City over towards Nixonton, Burgess, Edenton, getting ready to have some of that heavy rain working over towards your area. So we'll be watching that closely as well. So a couple thunderstorms that we're watching. Later this evening, things will start to improve. We'll see the cold front move through, skies will clear out, and we're looking at a cooler night and a cold night tonight. Much more on that in the rest of the forecast, and we'll continue to track these storms as we go through the newscast. Regina.
All right, thanks, Evan. Show us the impact of the storms in your area. When it is safe to do so, send us your pictures and videos. Email us at sharit@13newsnow.com or post your pictures to our Facebook and Twitter pages. You can also upload pictures through the 13 News Now app.
And speaking of the app, download it right now on your phone and tablet. You can use the weather section to check the radar and track the storms no matter where you are. It's free for Apple and Android devices.
Right now, the National Guard could be heading to the U.S.-Mexico border as soon as tonight. The Trump administration says it is working with governors in the affected states right now. This is all part of an effort to combat illegal immigration. President Trump announced just yesterday that he wanted to send the military to the patrol border. We are following a developing story out of Virginia Beach. Neighbors along Shore Drive are pushing back against plans for new townhouses. A developer has plans to redevelop a plot along Shore Drive and Pendleton Avenue. But people who live in that area say they don't want to see any more construction there. 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton is in Virginia Beach with a look at the plans.
I don't want to disturb the quiet character of this neighborhood with more units built one on top of another.
So neighbors are asking, when is enough enough? Workers are still building townhouses in the area. And as soon as they saw a sign to change the zoning to multifamily, they were concerned about it. So we reached out to the city of Virginia Beach. We were told plans were submitted to rezone the property from commercial to multifamily. They have also already done a traffic study. So everything is moving along to add homes in this area. Neighbors who live in the area received a letter in the mail saying a developer wants to add 6 townhouses to the piece of land right next to Chick's Custom Cycles, and neighbors are, of course, against this. We will stay with the story and let you know more as soon as it develops.
All right, 2 people hit by cars at the same intersection in less than 24 hours. And one of those accidents was deadly. We're talking about West Little Creek Road at Newport Avenue in Norfolk. Last night, a man died after he was hit by a car there. And then this morning, another car hit another pedestrian. Now, medics rushed this morning's victim to the hospital for treatment. He should be okay. 13 News Now spoke with witnesses who saw the chaos after both crashes.
Out of nowhere, the car came. He had to have been going like 50. And that man flew like 30 feet in the air. I mean, he flew above the street light.
It makes me not want to cross the street no more, not want to go nowhere.
People who live near the intersection say something has to change. Our Stephen Graves will have their reaction on 13 News Now at 5.
Today marks 50 years since the assassination of civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, and tonight in Hampton, the youth will lead a program to honor his life and legacy.
It is called Today's Youth, Tomorrow's Leaders. The Hampton NAACP, along with the Hampton University chapter, will hold a vigil. Students will read speeches and perform at the event. Hampton High School junior Xavier Williams says it's important to get young people involved in carrying out Dr. King's dream.
He said, even if I die, I know that they won't be accomplished tomorrow, and that tomorrow is still what we're chasing after.
Organizers are encouraging parents to bring kids out to the event, as well as bring a canned food item to be donated to the Peninsula Food Bank. The event starts at 7 p.m. at Bethel AME Church on Lincoln Street in Hampton. 13 News now has much more coverage of the commemoration events for Martin Luther King Jr. Coming up at 4:30, we're taking a look at tributes for him around the nation.
In 1 week, Virginia's General Assembly will start a special session to settle the budget after they couldn't agree on Medicaid. Tonight, you have a chance to learn what they're going to be debating about, too. Virginia Beach Delegate Glenn Davis and healthcare experts will take part in a Medicaid town hall. The forum is from 6:30 to 8 p.m. That's at the Church of the Holy Apostle on Lynnhaven Parkway. That's between South Rosemont and Independence Roads. It's being hosted by the Virginia Interfaith Center.
Now to a story you'll see only on 13 News Now. A woman quit her job and brought her very own church bus to live in. She is part of the schoolie movement, turning a bus into a home. 13 News Now reporter Elise Brown takes us to 757 Makerspace for the big undertaking.
It's almost like an episode of MTV Cribs, except...
So this is my bus. She's a 1990 Bluebird TC 2000.
Vicky Barr is turning this old church bus into her tiny home.
I'm going to turn this tote into a bathtub. It's really heavy duty, so it shouldn't break. It should handle all that. And then this will be my toilet.
She's also going to have a kitchen and natural light.
You can actually push them out, which I love.
We first met the 33-year-old 3 years ago. She owned Kitsch in Ghent, but she got burnt out, so she sold. She also wanted to cut down on her cost of living.
I bought the bus for $5,000, which was, I thought, a pretty good deal for the condition that it's in. So on top of that, I will probably be spending another $5,000 to $6,000 on everything else.
Outside of the electrical, she's mainly doing the project on her own.
But I had to demo everything, strip everything out, which was a long, painful process.
It's an opportunity to be creative.
And the idea that I can build a house, from the ground up for myself is really exciting and honestly a little bit empowering.
On Saturday, Barr and her dog are heading to Blacksburg to work on a flower farm for several months. Eventually, they'll head west. To those needing a change in life, she says,
yeah, I think it's just also, it's okay to dream and to daydream a little.
In Norfolk, Elise Brown, 13 News Now.